Okay. You want to know how to make the best swarm traps? Absolutely. I mean, they work. You don't need, I mean, you can use that, put that swarm commander or whatever it is, or swarm bait or whatever you want to use, but honestly, you got some old crusty hives that you bought from some beekeeper, or if you have some of these old crusty hives, right? Here, let me get out in the, turn this thing around real quick. Old crusty hives, just like this, crusty, right? And then you have some old crusty boxes, stuff that you're gonna throw away. You're literally like, man, these boxes are junk. They're not squared up anymore. The nails are coming out. Everything's loose. They're just junk. Bees love junk. I don't know what it is about bees. And then they love that smell of old, dirty, filthy comb. I mean, this stuff is wax moth. Look at all that wax moth down there. This is old stuff from the winter, so it's not viable anymore. So I mean, it's not alive, but this thing was wax moth ridden. Okay, old frame like that. Love that stuff. Now, whenever the swarm gets in there, you're gonna have to do some management of them after the fact, right? But and then I got these old pallets I got from a guy. He just gave them to me. Old crusty pallets, old equipment, old crusty equipment, stuff that's like 40 years old. And you can buy this. Some of these old beekeepers, they can give this stuff away. This one won't hold the frames, so I can't use it. Frames just fall right through it. But let's see. Okay, here we go. Here's a crusty dusty. But that's actually not a bad box. Let's see. This one's worse. Yeah, this one's worse. Kind of rickety. It's not solid, you know? It's just not a solid box. Not at all. Put up there. See, that's even got wax moth in it. Dead wax moth, but still wax moth. And some more. But see, what'll happen is this swarm will come in here. So this is the old, before Plasticil, this is the old plastic. They used to just wax coat plastic, thin plastic. And that was their foundation. I put like 3 or 4 of these things in there. I got so many right now that I bought some boxes from a guy, and he said that they were pretty good shape, and I'm like, okay, they're not. But it was in the middle of the night whenever I went and picked them up. Oh, there's a lot of these crusty dusties. So anyway, he did me right. He reduced the price because he realized that, you know, they weren't nearly as good. There was a lot of good in there, don't get me wrong. There was a lot of good stuff in there. But there was also a lot of junk like this. But this junk is going to catch bees because they love this junk. They love this junk. So I'm going to set out. I'm actually going to use pallets too. These old pallets. Sometimes I use just old bottom boards that I have. No big deal, you know. I'm going to set those pallets a little bit away from the apiary. Not far. I mean, you'll be able to see them. So that way, every time you drive up, you'll be able to see the hives and see your swarm traps and check in on them. Make sure that they're... Look at that. Oh, yeah, that's perfect. Look at this. When I say it's perfect, look at this. Look at that. Crusty, dusty, rotted out. Look at that. Rotted out. Just junk. Right? I'm telling you, these bees, they love this stuff. Love it. Now this is, I mean, you don't want to put something like this in there, right? Because it's got the wire foundation. It's in really bad shape. Because eventually you're going to have to move these to regular colonies, right? You want to take these swarms and you're eventually going to put it into a good box. You're eventually going to use the colony. You know, it just may take you to do it. Right, so, got a few more. Look at this. Look at this guy. It's got pollen on it, scraped out. It's got wax moth on the back side. I'm telling you. You don't even know, man. You don't even know. There's another one. Wax moth. A little bit of wax moth. They will clean this up, believe it or not. They will go through, they'll swarm in there, and they'll clean this stuff up, and they'll start using it right away. They'll start breaking it down, getting rid of all the trash that's in it, and they'll just start using it. And they'll be just the happiest of bees. Happy bees. So anyway, that's how you make them. Super simple, right? Put some lids on there, some old crusty, I got some old crusty lids too. Let's go see what I got over there. Hey, you know, maybe I'll use those lids. Because these lids are really bad. Some of these lids are horrible. Actually, no, these aren't bad. Well, it's all right. The guy that gave me these, sold me these pallets of boxes, had some lids with them. So I'll just use those lids. Some of these lids are okay. Other lids are, I don't know. Anyway, put lids on them. So I'm going to do 2 pallets, 8 boxes, 8 swarm traps. It's taking me like 10 minutes to put this equipment together because I've already gone through. I'm trying to find the good stuff, right? Out of this, all this stuff, I'm looking for the good stuff, the stuff I can use on my apiaries, on my bees. Well, this stuff, I can't use it. I can't use it with the bees, right? But I can use it for swarm traps. And they will get after it. Let me tell you. Let's see. I got more ugly boxes all over the place. Let's see, how's that one? Yep, here's another one. Look at that. Ripped out right there. You're like, why do you save all this trash? Just because. Actually, I don't. I burn a lot of it. A lot of this stuff goes into the fire pit. You know, I mean, you want to be realistic, right? You don't want to have stuff like that hanging out, because if you do, you're going to have, those bees are going to have to work just that much harder to get some of that stuff out. All right, so I put like 3 or 4 frames in there. There we go, 4 frames. There we go, look at that, beautiful. 8 swarm traps, and they will probably fill themselves. Now you ask, well, why are you putting them by your ape? Because you know what, sometimes I miss some of them. I may miss a queen cell, and all of a sudden I get a swarm. Well, I want to keep that swarm. If you don't want to keep your swarms, then just let them go. I'm trying to keep them out of the trees in a different way, right? Because they're, I mean, as a beekeeper, if you've been doing this long enough, you know that you're going to have swarms. So the best thing you could do is be prepared for it. Make some swarm traps. All these, look at all these swarm traps. That's not me, by the way. That's an old junk box. I got so many old junk boxes. So many boxes with different names on them. One of these days I'm going to have to go through and paint them. Anyway, that's where we're at. All right, guys. God bless.